Storybooks are there to teach your kids to be good. Jonathan Livingston Seagull or Little Riding Hood. But comic books are cooler. Zombie horror, traveling blue boxes, Spike and Buffy Angel if we absolutely must. Ew. The name's Samantha Maybe. I'm a Loki-loving Whedon lady. Don't you call me Sammy or I'll punch you in the face.
Really?
Comic fans.
So, it's been about a month since I started doing comic reviews. I've talked about vampires, Doctor Who, Saga, Mind the Gap, The Four Watchmen, and I've even started doing write-ups for The Walking Dead. Go read them! One thing that the majority of these comics have in common is that they're fairly new and it's easy for me to keep up with them, and I only have one issue at a time that I can possibly talk about. The two obvious detractors from that are The Walking Dead and Buffy. Now, there's no way I'm gonna do The Walking Dead in video form. There's 9 years of comics, and it's just too much. And Buffy's been running for a pretty long time too, and I've really just taken the series on because I love it. But I'm still on the first fracking trade. So let's finish this. So, Willow is Warren's prisoner. He takes some time to be a stereotypical villain and explain part of his backstory to Willow. Amy apparently has a spell on Warren that essentially holds him together and keeps him alive without his skin. Apparently Amy had been watching Willow for some time and thereby found Warren in his sticky situation. The fact that both of these characters are even alive is obnoxious enough, and now you want me to accept this crazy plot device on top of that? Gah. Anyway, Dawn has a tantrum and Buffy tries to reopen the portal Willow is sucked through. As Willow is tortured at Warren's hand, Buffy tells one of the Slayers in training to prepare to go through the portal with her. She has cinnamon-flavored lip gloss. They go through the portal and manage to not get hit by a barrage of bullets and find Amy blocking the door to the room Willow is held in. In the meantime, Willow has been having a meeting with the goddesses and is able to transmit some of her magical ability to Buffy. Somehow. Warren and Amy run away, and Buffy frees Willow. As they prepare to leave the facility, they pass a door with 30 written on it. Buffy assumes that this has something to do with the dream she had involving Ethan Rayne, because she saw 3 X's in it. Really? And sure enough, when they break into the room, they find Ethan with a bullet in his head. General Vol is waiting in the cell to ambush Buffy. She slams him against the wall and reveals the mark of Twilight inscribed on his chest. He tells Buffy that Twilight is coming for her, and he tells her that Slayers are the enemy of the human race and that he will wipe them out. Buffy's response represents the obstinate survivalist attitude that she's adopted ever since she became a leader for the new Slayers back in Season 7 of the TV show. Instead of showing a weak, vulnerable, defeatist side, Buffy demonstrates to General Vol that no matter how the world views the Slayers, they will continue to fight for what they have been directed by destiny to fight for. The world knows about the Slayers and they don't like them, but Buffy couldn't care less. Aside from some weird magical mumbo-jumbo, issue number 4 was pretty good. They rescue Willow, Ethan Rayne's dead. And of course there's a bit more development about this Twilight character who we still have not really met at all. Issue number 5 is primarily a filler story. Since it's in a trade, it may very well have been published with issue number 4, but I don't know. We get a lot more of these side stories, and some of them are pretty weird, but this one's quite good. This story tells of one of Buffy's body doubles. Several of these have been placed at areas with high amounts of supernatural activity. We hear the story of one of these body doubles, whose proper name we never learn. She was called when Buffy magicked all the new Slayers into being, and she says that the moment of her calling was quite painful. She is selected to become a Buffy double after performing exceedingly well in the field, and even acquiring a bite mark similar to Buffy's. She is thrown into a pit ruled over by a demon named Yaman, who terrorizes the indigenous creatures of the pit. Those creatures include small fairies and giant slugs. Fake Buffy gets help trying to infiltrate and defeat Yaman from one of the fairies who takes a liking to her, believing she is truly Buffy Summers. We get some more insight into what it's like to be ripped from a normal life and thrown into slaying. And then we see her die, immediately after a group of other Slayers lower into the pit to aid in her battle. So obviously this story has little to no impact on the main plot, although Buffy is informed about her body double's death later in the series. I really like the fact that we get to see some of these side stories though. It makes the world feel like a much bigger place, and it really drives home the fact that Buffy changed the whole world, not just her little bubble in Sunnydale. Girls everywhere have been affected by her choices, and they fight and die for Buffy. So that's Volume 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8. In the interest of finishing all of the Buffy comics in a somewhat timely manner, but what is time? I may start making Buffy videos longer, and including an entire trade in one episode. We'll see. Volume 2 is full of vampires, demons, an evil yuppie brat who wants to kill Buffy, and Faith. Needless to say, it's not my favorite, but Brian K. Vaughan, the head writer for Saga, was involved in Volume 2, so how bad can it be? Right? Until next time, I'm Samantha Maybe, and I love you! No, I don't. I hate Faith!